insane profit power of retargeting using Amazon DSP. Grow your brand with easy wins. And I know, like, I usually get really aggravated when people use words like easy when it comes to doing anything on Amazon. But comparatively, especially with all the other stuff that people are doing with PPC campaigns, with external traffic, this has got to be, comparatively anyway, one of the easiest ways to increase revenue and ideally profits. And I can't wait to get into it. But real quick, we'll go over, the usual. Canopy is who is sponsoring this amazing event. This presentation here, Canopy Management has really impressive stats: 105% PPC profit growth on average, 38% conversion lift, 84% overall profit growth. Our partners do really well, and we're very, very proud of what we're able to help them achieve. And yeah, moving right along from that. For anybody on this call that doesn't know who I am, I'll briefly go over this. Former COO of Six Leaf, which was Don Blast at one point, content manager at Helium 10, CEO of Signalytics. I've been a consultant to all size brands over the course of the past 6 years, as well as a seller myself, spoken on stages around the world on the topic, particularly of ranking and Amazon's algorithm. So I've been around the block. I know a little bit about this stuff. But the star of the hour today is absolutely our foremost DSP expert, Erica Garza, a top DSP strategist. For the last 5 years, worked with rapid growth SaaS companies to bridge brands and customers. She's very understanding of the psychology behind the reason why I think that she's so good at what she does is she understands the psychology behind the connection between brands and their customers. So it's not just tweaking numbers in a PPT dashboard, but very effective at that. That's the reason why she's helped Canopy grow DSP partner base by over 300% and driven over 80 million impressions in less than 8 months, and then grew partner revenue to 2 million plus at this point. So definitely the right person to walk us through these concepts. But real quick, just kind of overview of what it is that we're going over. We're going to talk about how Amazon DSP, demand side platform, can drive sales for a brand. Basically, we're making a case for retargeting. And this is a word that pretty much anybody that buys media is probably familiar with, but a lot of people do not realize the power of using Amazon's DSP specifically for retargeting. The average consumer requires a ton of touch points. And so it's important for you to be exposed to them more than just that one, scrolling through Amazon. And then maybe they see you a second time in your sponsored product, but you really need to be where they're at more than that, or else you're going to end up losing the sale to a competitor that is. Website visitors are, these stats are across the board for retargeting. Website visitors are 70% more likely to convert if they came in through a retargeting ad. Like, that's huge. And then, the competition's growing. Agencies more and more every year starting to see the power of retargeting, and specifically ADSP, and they're increasing their budgets for that. So the reason why we're going to talk about this, because how it impacts brands that use retargeting will increase conversions and profits. That's why I keep using the word easy, because it will. Brands, that use retargeting will increase the customer lifetime value. That's one of the ancillary benefits. And then, will increase their reach and recognition. So brands stand to gain a lot from the DSP platform. I know that's redundant, demand side platform, and retargeting. But, it's so important because anybody that's not leveraging this is they're missing, maybe not the whole boat, but they're definitely missing one, pretty sizable one too. So with that, if, like I just said, if you're not retargeting, you're leaving money on the table, period. And then I want to go ahead and hand it over to you, Erica. Let us know why ADSP is perfect for large brands.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the warm intro, Anthony, and great to be on another webinar with you. Hopefully we have some that watched our first webinar, and this will be really good insights into how to generate revenue with retargeting with DSP. So just to recap some of the statistics that you talked about, over 75% of e-commerce shopping carts are abandoned. That's a lot of missed opportunities to make a sale. So that's why retargeting is so beneficial. It's a low hanging fruit that helps you make up for the sales that you could have closed and that your competitors are probably chasing after. So retargeting is going to help you close on those abandoned shopping carts by just staying top of mind, staying in front of your customers. And this is a revenue driving strategy. So if you have a lot of sessions and if you're not retargeting, then this is a definite must have in your advertising strategy. This also works really well to make the most of any ad spend that you've already put off of Amazon. So you definitely want to leverage the work that you've already done and make the most of your omni-channel strategy. So for example, if you are a brand that's only on Facebook, or if you're only on YouTube, then you're locked into that one channel, whereas DSP allows you to retarget and add additional coverage and additional reach on other sites. So that's why it's supporting the work that you've already done and making the most of the ad spend you've already put down. So again, with retargeting, you can launch quickly, you can drive sales right away. And with a large brand with high session, you can start being profitable right out the gate. So within the first couple of weeks, and then once these optimize, you'll have a long-term revenue generating campaign. So if we look at the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about what else makes it so valuable. So it does support your on platform or on Amazon performance and helps increase your conversions, typically by 30%. I've seen this number much higher than 30%. That's just an average. But most importantly, it increases your customer lifetime value by not only targeting potential customers and gaining that low hanging fruit, turning it to sales, but you can also target your past customers and drive repeat purchases. So that's why it's such a powerful way to increase CLV. We all know how expensive it is to acquire a new customer. So a retargeting strategy just allows you to make the most of what you already have in place. And it works well for consumable products that need to be replenished. If it's a one-time purchase, it can work well for that strategy too, but typically for consumable type products. And we've also seen DSP massively increase branded keyword search by at least 40%. So if you're putting this together with a top of funnel strategy and bottom, then you can see a huge impact in branded search. And overall, it just has a synergistic effect to your on Amazon performance, since you're driving extremely targeted traffic that's very likely to convert. So very synergistic effect with DSP. Cool. So what else can we do with DSP? So I want to talk about the specific types of retargeting that you can leverage. So here are just a few highlights. So you can build a custom audience from your own data. And this is a very cost-efficient way, easy way to get started. So if you're not already targeting larger in-market segments, or if that's too much of a reach, you can start with a pixel on your website and start with the email list that you already have. That also leads us into ASIN retargeting, where you can reach out to past customers that have seen your ad or seen your detail page, but have not converted yet. So here's where we want to start to drive sales. You can also use custom audiences if you're non-endemic. So if you're not on Amazon at all, then you can bring in your own data. So that's one easy way to get started and make the transition to Amazon if you've not already. But once you have your data, then you can start generating even more audiences and lookalike audiences to expand your reach. So a lot of options available with retargeting. One of the key differentiators with DSP as opposed to sponsored display is that you can use custom creatives. So with DSP, you can use fully custom banners, billboard ads, skyscraper ads that really stand out from your competitors. And that's something that you can't do with sponsored display. So it gives you a lot of creative control in how your ads are displayed, how you're telling your brand story, and then exactly where you're driving that traffic. Um, and I also want to mention just real quick here, there's some new exciting developments with OTT. And we touched on this during our last webinar. Honestly, we can probably do another webinar solely on OTT, but just to give everyone a quick intro. So OTT stands for over the top, and that refers to streaming ads that are available on Fire TV. It's also called CTV or connected TV. So this is basically streaming and not cable ads. So this really opens up the door for smaller brands that are needing to grow, that want to get a competitive edge. You can put your 30-second video ad in front of premium content like top broadcasting and network apps, Thursday Night Football, Amazon News app, and IMDb TV, which is the only free streaming platform, and it's also owned by Amazon. So Amazon owns the data and the platform, which allows for seamless delivery and really detailed reporting with the first party data, which we talked about in our previous webinar. So it's all coming together full circle. But it's a great option for performance-based marketers to get the edge. So with OTT, you can also launch retargeting to ensure that you're making the most of your ad spend and of your media buys. So definitely something to consider if you are looking to scale. Awesome. So let's talk about the results. And again, I didn't want to choose an anomaly and just kind of a one-off success story. So here are two different brands running 3 months of retargeting campaigns. And here you can see a very high total return on ad spend consistently month over month. So with just retargeting only in 3 months, they hit a 12x total return. And then on the, and that's for targeting past viewers. And then if you're targeting past purchases, you see a much higher return with the loyalty campaigns and driving second and third purchases. So this is the type of results you can expect to see with retargeting. And of course, even in month one, you see right out the gate, they're hitting some really high numbers. So definitely something to consider. If you're a large brand with high sessions, then you definitely should be retargeting.
That's impressive.
Cool. Yeah. And that's standard. I mean, that's what we expect to see with retargeting, and that's not even during a tentpole event, right? We've yet to gather the data from Prime Day, and that doesn't include Q4 of last year. So definitely seasonality is something to consider. So Q4 would expect those numbers to double, easily double, especially with top of funnel. Yeah. So we are just now on the horizon of planning for Q3 and 4. So again, this is a good time to start looking into this type of advertising. So highlight reel, just a quick recap on what we've talked about today. So retargeting is there to drive sales. 75% of customers abandon their shopping cart. You can use retargeting to remind them to purchase, and you can get results quickly. This is something that I recommend for brands that have over 20,000 sessions and above. So that's how you can launch quickly and start getting results. But again, this supports your on Amazon performance by driving highly targeted traffic based on your own data. That's going to boost your conversion rate, your organic ranking, branded keyword search, and just overall performance. So yeah, there's a lot of different things we can do with DSP, but regardless of what your goal is, we can help you reach those goals, especially if it's generate sales, then you can do that with retargeting specifically.
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you that might be curious, there are a couple ways. Now, we went over this in the first webinar we did a week ago, but I want to reiterate, there are a couple ways that you can get started with DSP. If you aren't currently running DSP ads, you can work directly with Amazon, but keep in mind that they have some pretty steep minimums per month. They want you to spend a tremendous amount of money, and you don't have as much flexibility with your testing. An alternative to that is use an agency like Canopy, where basically we have much more reasonable monthly spend and a lot more flexibility. So the name of the game isn't just to get you to spend all of your ad dollars and give it to Amazon. It's to figure out how to optimize and make your DSP ads work for you to the best that they can. Then everybody's happy. So how you can inquire about that, visit canopymanagement.com/webinar offer. All right. I will figure out how to stop sharing now. I don't have a mouse right now, so like very difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So we did have a question. This is the Q&A portion. We do have a question now. Somebody asked, hi there, 20K sessions per what? So what period of time, Erica, were you referring to the 20K sessions?
Yeah, ideally per month. I have worked with some brands that had lower sessions, but we had a top of funnel strategy in place to increase the session. So 20K per month recommended.
Absolutely. Okay. And then how do you enroll? So if you're talking about how to enroll with DSP, if you do it through Amazon, you're going to sign up with what is it called?
AMG.
AMG. That's right. Amazon.
Oh, sorry, AMS, Amazon Managed Service. So they do charge 35 grand to get started, plus a per order fee. And each time you launch a new order, you'll see that per order fee. So it gets pretty steep. Again, we don't have those minimums. I recommend at least 10 to 15K for DSP. That way you can start generating results. But yeah, we have a lot more flexibility with testing and creative and pulling all these levers. That way we can start generating results. So
I also think it's really important to mention that, Erica has a strategy. She showed you some of the typical results. That strategy involves utilizing various DSP placements. There's, essentially addressing the whole funnel, but the retargeting part specifically is the part where you just increase everything, right? So if you're doing top of funnel stuff, you're getting new buyers in. You're spending some money, but you're turning around and you're increasing their chance of conversion by 70% just by retargeting. So that's a really important distinction to make. Okay, so we had a couple other questions. What's our minimum monthly ad spend for DSP offer? As Erica just mentioned, she definitely recommends that you start between 10 and 15,000 a month, just because that will ensure that you're running ads to all the right places, right? So you're all the funnel pieces, and then also make sure that you have enough room to do testing, and so for optimization. So, but if you can if you could put $10,000 a month into DSP advertising, you saw the results. That's 12 to 18 ROAS. Like, you're gonna make that back so freaking hard, and then you scale, and then you start spending even more money because it's making you so much money. So that's and that's the whole goal, right? You win, Canopy wins. Like,
yeah, if you have sessions just sitting there, and you're retargeting them, like maybe you're only retargeting with sponsored display, right? But after a shopper leaves Amazon, you don't have a mechanism to get in front of them again, except for maybe email list, but not everyone opens their email. right? So checking the news, they're watching TV, they're checking the weather, everywhere, anytime they're not on Amazon, want to stay in front of those customers. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So Dustin had another question.
Mhm.
So to join the DSP program, 35,000, I just want to make sure I understand. Or is that minimum spend? That's minimum spend. 30 to 35 is what Amazon, if you choose to work through Amazon's managed services, then they want you putting that many dollars per month into your DSP ads. I hope that clarifies the question.
Mhm.
Because I don't know why they do it like that, but yeah, they have this outrageously large number to start out the gate from.
Mhm.
And every single time you want to deploy something new, they charge you for that too. And it's like, if your goal is to get people to spend more ad dollars, I don't know that that's the best way to do it. That's chasing what I call chasing bad profits. But it's good for us because it allows us to give people a much better deal, lower minimum spend, and then you're not nickel and dimed when you want to run tests, when you want to see new creatives will work, so that you can optimize and scale. But if I want to
Exactly.
manage this self, there is no minimum spend. No, you can't manage it yourself. Can you, Erica? Can you speak on
No.
that? This person's asking if they
Yeah.
can manage it
So
themselves, and
yeah. The only way to access DSP is through Amazon directly, and they manage it for you, or through an agency, and we manage it for you. There is a dashboard we can give you access to see maybe a handful of metrics, just so you have your finger on the pulse of what's happening, but you don't get full control. So that's something that our team manages for you.
yeah, so it's not a self-serve platform like sponsored is.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
DSP at this point is not. It doesn't have like a self-serve dashboard. You're not going to log into your back end and run things yourself on DSP. It's either Amazon manages it or an agency manages it. And I know firsthand agencies have to jump through quite a few hoops and actually work with another agency for an X period of time before they're allowed to manage people. So that it's definitely not open to any and everybody for sure. All right, so we had another question. Does your average ROAS 12 to 18% differ massively over different categories? Before you answer that, Erica, I do want to clarify that's not 12 to 18%. ROAS is 12 times to 18 times
Times.
your ad spend. So that
Yeah.
means you spent $100 on ads, you
Mhm.
got back 1,200 to 1,800. But the question for you, Erica, is does that percentage or does that amount differ massively over different categories?
It does depend on a few different factors. So that's why I always recommend starting with low hanging fruit. If you have 50,000 sessions laying on the table, that's a huge pool that we can retarget, and you will see results right away. If you have, let's say you have a luxury item that's a one time purchase, then that may be a little bit more difficult for retargeting because your customers are considering lots of other things, right? The quality, they're looking, maybe doing some research online. If they can find you, great. If they're doing their research, then they can't find you or you have any bad reviews, that's going to be a harder sell. Of course, you still want to stay in front of those customers, absolutely. That because if you get one sale from retargeting for a $200 product, it's definitely worth the ad spend and taking that away from your competitors. But I've seen this work very well for consumable products, right? That's where we see this high return on retargeting, and it is seasonal, so you'll see huge jumps during tentpole events too. Um, so yes, it depends on the category. Give me a specific example. I might have some results that I can share with you.
That makes sense on the consumable side though, since the
Yeah.
whole behind retargeting is bringing people back, and then when people come back once, they tend to come back multiple times, and
Mhm.
it ends up being profitable all the way around. But yeah, I've seen talking about temple events too. there's just so many factors on Amazon, and it's weird because it almost feels like these factors just multiply the effects. It's like DSP is good on its own, but then when you have an event, it's even better. When you have things like if you happen to get a badge, I've seen DSP ads just blow out of the water everything whenever that badge is attained, right? Like if it's an Amazon choice or a bestseller badge, it's wild. It's like there doesn't seem to be anything to diminish the power of DSP so much as so many different factors just help. It's like and I think the reason why, this is my theory, but I'm not an expert on this. But I think the reason why is because Amazon's so good at targeting that they're getting in front of the people that make those decisions after they see, oh, this is a bestseller, that's the one I want, right? So they're just so good at knowing who's going to buy, and that's what you're leveraging when you use these types of ads, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that synergistic effect, right? Driving extremely targeted traffic back to the platform. And definitely, Amazon favors that. So it's very powerful. And another cool thing, since we're just coming off the tail end of Prime Day, these ads, like if you use Amazon's responsive ads, you can leverage their branding and showcase a um, Prime deal coupon on top of your DSP ads.
Oh,
So, I mean,
wow.
that's really powerful right there.
Do you know if they if they
if they
of, I guess, borrowing their brand imagery stuff like that for Cyber Week?
For Cyber Week, I'm trying to remember if we saw deals last year. I don't remember seeing the banner across like we did this year for Prime Day. We have that blue banner across anyone that had a deal. But they may offer something this season since they did implement that for Prime Day. So hopefully we'll see some new creatives coming out for their responsive templates.
That's yeah, no, I do think that blue banner was new this year, so likely they're gonna do. And that's the cool part too. Whenever they come up with like new ways to show or showcase like their signals on deals and stuff, DSP is the first platform they push that stuff to. Like immediately they're going to go, okay, we're going to open this up to the DSP, which is, I mean, awesome. So I have no doubt that come Cyber Week, you're going to see the ability to really use some amazing creatives because they're not going to have another day that big until Cyber Week, right? So Prime Day's over. The next big target for Amazon, the next huge like crosshairs is on Cyber Weeks, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I think we're going to see a lot of awesome stuff. So if you're not running Amazon DSP ads, now's the time to get in there so that you can have a leg up on your competitors come Cyber Week. I think this is the prime time to start preparing for that, because that should be your next big sellers. That should be your next big crosshair target time period too. Because if you prepare properly for these tentpole events, you can 10x, 50x, 100x your results if you have all of the right promotions in place and the right, ad funnels moving into that time frame. Anyway, that was my tangent. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you want to plan at least 6 weeks in advance. But for retargeting, this is something you could have evergreen at all times. But the results that we show were over 3 months. So that's consistently just running in the background, generating sales. And new inventory limits on Amazon, they are looking for your sales velocity. So this could help support your inventory if you're having issues with that, and just improve your score and your ranking and sales velocity.
I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. If you already leverage ad properties to push sales and you're not leveraging ADSP, you could leverage ADSP and increase that even more. And that
Yeah.
velocity is going to help you increase your storage limits, which you're gonna want moving into the
The
holiday.
holidays. Yeah,
You know,
totally synergistic effect. Truly.
definitely.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
cool.
So I know we had a light crowd today due to our technical difficulties. Again, I apologize for that. But does anybody here have any other questions that we can answer while we have the illustrious Erica on the line? I don't see any new questions. So
Oh, I can't see the chat.
I'm looking at it. So I think that we covered the most important questions. We had a great conversation and really just kind of drove the point in a very concise manner. I don't know about you, but I really like these concise workshops where we hit the target points, we explain what's out there and what you could take advantage of, and then answer a couple questions, wrap it up with a bow.
Mhm.
So, do you have any parting thoughts that you would like to give before we go ahead and adjourn?
Yeah. So any brands that are considering DSP, or whether that's bottom funnel, top of funnel, I just want to reiterate that we can do it efficiently, we can do it profitably, and proactively, right? So now is a good time to reach out and ask those questions that you have so that we can help you plan for a profitable Q3 and Q4. And we just want to help dispel the myth that DSP is like untouchable or super difficult, and boil it down to how to use it to generate sales and all these other benefits. So to make it easy for you guys, you can reach out to me. I can give you a quick analysis, can dive in and give you a couple pointers to get you started. So email me with any questions, and happy to help.
What's your email?
Erica with a K at Canopy Management.
I'll put it right here.
Cool.
And at canopymanagement.com. Okay.
Sweet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Erica, for your amazing in-depth knowledge on the wonders of DSP. Hopefully, we will be able to target some of those deeper conversations in the future when we're talking about OTT.
Yeah.
We can do another presentation where we talk about the effects, the impacts DSP has had on these tentpole events. Now that we have the ability to, look at a little bit of data and present that. So we'll definitely continue the conversation in the future. Until then, stay tuned. It was fun. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.